Okay, well, happy Wednesday morning to you all. It is Wednesday, October 6th, and I'm headed out. I'm late, of course, as usual. Headed out for a work commute this morning. And which way am I going to go? I'm going to go this way. Here we go. Ooh, this feels different after being on the Rebel for 3,200 miles. I returned last night about 7:30, 8 o'clock from my almost cross-country trip on the Rebel. I went up to Annapolis, Maryland to meet up with Life of Birch. That was really neat. I enjoyed meeting everybody up there. That was a lot of fun. Birch is a great guy. I met Gus and Ben and Fran and a bunch of other guys. Dom, not his real name. I don't know his I missed his name. We know each other by our YouTube handles and our Instagram names and stuff like that. And for me, it's the same. So Instagram and YouTube are the same name, but it's kind of funny because everybody keeps talking to each other using their online name instead of their real name. I'm not used to IRL stuff. Anyway, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a great ride up there. The Rebel did great. My butt didn't go so great, but you know, hey, I was kind of expecting that. The first day up, when I left Katy last Thursday, so almost a week ago today, it was a 1,056 or 1,063. I still have to go back because I got differing results on GPS versus my mileage on the bike and all that, so I got to sort it out. Anyway, I certified out the Iron Butt Saddle Sore 1000 on the Rebel, and I'm hoping that I got it, you know, hoping I qualified for enough miles, because if Google Maps says that it wasn't enough, then that 16 or 17 hour blast that I did was somewhat in vain, although I did get up there, so I can't say it was totally wasted effort. Where are you going, dude? Still school zone. So I got up there to what was it, Kingsport, Tennessee, north end of Tennessee, and stopped for fuel, and that's kind of where I petered out. It was 2:30 in the morning local time there, 2:15, 2:30. And I just couldn't see any reason in continuing on. I was really, really tempted to go ahead and just blast on the remaining 600 miles or whatever it was to get up to Maryland. But I knew that Ben wanted to meet up, so I didn't want to just leave him too far behind, or have him trying to crush miles to get to where I was unnecessarily. So anyway, I pitched a hammock in the back of the parking lot where I got fuel. It was a shopping center parking lot. I saw a couple of other RVs that were, like towable trailers. You could tell people were sleeping there, so I thought, all right, fine. I just went back to the back out of everybody's way and strung up my hammock. Got about, 2 hours, 3 hours sleep, something like that. And then Ben sent me a message saying, on the road, see you soon. It was around, I guess, 5:30 local time. And he sent me a message about 6 something in the morning and said, that he was at the McDonald's that was right over by me. And I went over there and met him, and we got some coffee and warmed ourselves up. Anyway. We had a good ride. Getting up there was pretty good, also uneventful. We didn't have any real problems for the entire trip. The bikes performed fantastically, except for the rear suspension, of course. The rear suspension was beating us up pretty good. The seats are a sore spot, quite literally, figuratively, and literally. The Airhawk seat pads help, but they're not the greatest for trying to manage the inadequacy of that stock seat. Nothing against the Airhawk for sure, because without it, that trip would not be possible. Similarly with my Cannonball run, there's no way I could have done 10,000 miles on a little tiny saddle on the Super Cub. The ride day was absolutely idyllic. It was perfect. We had no problems with any weather. It was just beautiful. The temperature was great. Air was clear and dry. It was just a fantastic day to ride. And Birch did a fantastic job of, you know, letting everybody know where he was going, kind of corralling up. He didn't have a ride sheet with destinations or waypoints or anything like that, so we were all kind of, what are we doing, people? It's green. We were lucky to have the taco truck as a rally point because the group got separated three times, and I ended up broken off from the group. We got stuck at a stoplight just getting out of downtown Annapolis, and then it was playing catch up from that point forward, trying to figure out, okay, where did they go? How can I find them again? And kind of knew the general direction of where they were going. And I was riding with was 5 or 6 bikes, including an old classic Honda CB450, and he was having some fueling issues, so he wasn't able to get up and maintain above about 45 miles an hour, so he was dropping back. And I didn't realize that was the case until later when we met up at a stopping point, and he said that the bike pretty much just died out on him and wasn't running. And he found out that he had a kinked fuel hose on his right side carb. So yeah, of course it's going to run lean and not going to be balanced out because one cylinder, one bank is starving. So anyway, he kind of rerouted that fuel line, and he thought it was better. But then while we were playing round and around trying to catch the group, we ended up going up toward the highway because that was before I realized he had a fueling problem, and he didn't want to get on the highway. So we turned around and said, okay, well, let's just stay on this other road. And one of the other riders was saying, yeah, if we take this ferry road or bridge road, that should take us where we want to go. So we were headed back toward that, and we passed the whole group. They were sitting at a stop sign off to our right. And I was like, crap, by the time we could get slowed down, it's a twisty little 2-lane country road. We slowed down and we tried to pull off and circle back. They were gone again, and we're like, oh man, where'd they go? And I was riding slow, waiting for the rest of the group, and I mean, I was literally going 10 miles an hour for a couple of miles, and nobody ever showed up behind me. So there was really no place for me to turn around again. So I thought, all right, well, I'm not gonna cause a safety hazard for myself or anybody else that might be coming the other way, and I just decided to nail it and go. And I had a little bit of fun on that twisty road, but I felt bad about leaving everybody behind. I knew that he had support around him because there were 4 or 5 other riders, so if it all went really bad, he had people there near him. And again, my own selfish reasons, I was trying to get up to the group so I could take more video, but yeah, you know, it was a strange situation, but it all turned out well. We didn't have any casualties or problems on the ride, except at the very end we had a rider drop his VFR 800 and broke his front brake lever. But there was another rider in the group, or somebody that knew someone that was in the group, and they had a VFR 800 at home with spare levers in the garage. So cool, worked out. All right. I normally won't take the PCX150 up on the HOV lane, but considering traffic looks like this morning, I am going to do it. This section of the HOV kind of sucks because it narrows to one lane, and everybody wants to haul ass doing 85, 90, and of course I can't. I'm going uphill against the wind right now, and I'm barely breaking 60. It'll settle out, and I'll get 70 out of it in a minute. So anyway, back to the ride. The rain rides were interesting on the Rebel. We didn't have any problem at all with traction or the bike handling or doing anything weird. The Rebel is heavy enough that it stays very planted, and I have to commend Honda on their choice of tires on the Rebel, because those things are great in the wet. We didn't hydroplane, we didn't have any problems. I went through some big puddles and felt the front tire kind of skip and skitter once, but it wasn't a big deal, you know. It wasn't demoralizing or scary or like, oh crap, maybe I need to stop. No, not at all. Just ignore it and move on. It was fine. So the Rebels handled the rain just fine, and we did, God man, I don't know what it was, like 5+ hours of just steady hard rain. I mean, it slowed down to a trickle at some points, but yeah, for the most part, it was pretty hard. It's coming down a couple inches an hour through most of Tennessee. So that's it for the ride report, I think. I can't think of anything else other than we're waiting for the next one. We're trying to figure out when that's going to be. If Birch is going to organize something, maybe I could organize something. I don't know. You guys tell me if you've got any ideas, suggestions for a venue, a location, activities, anything like that. And I'll see what I can do. I'll put the word out. So, anyway, I bid you all farewell for now. I might catch up with you after my breakfast meet, middle of the day. I'm going to swap bikes at the warehouse and pick up my 500X, take it home, do a little bit of work on it. And, yeah, so anyway, I'll catch you all a little bit later. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to my Wednesday in progress. I decided to swap out for the little CT125 today. I was going to bring home a different bike, and I thought, nah, this thing needs a little bit of love. Need to run it, keep the battery charged up. So, do a few on and offs on the highway here on the way home. And the little CT125 isn't quite fast enough for doing hard highway work, as we well know, but I'll flog it a bit, get it up to a whopping 55, 56, 57, indicated anyway. It's 3 miles per hour slower than that. I'm coming in whether you like it or not, dude. Put your signal on, people try to block you. Yeehaw. When traffic's real heavy like this, you know, even small bikes, you can keep up with the flow because the flow isn't going that fast. The CT125 rubbing elbows with the 18-wheelers. I'm like getting squished between them. This could be deadly. Yes, hit your brakes. I hear him back there chirping it. Welcome to Houston rush hour. And it's early. It's only like 3:45. Man, another 30 minutes and this is going to be a parking lot. Ooh, so fast. Go, Cub. Now, my littlest scoots, you know, like my little Yamaha C3, I wouldn't bring it up here. I don't care how slow the traffic's going. It just doesn't have quite enough steam. If you get it going and let it go, yeah, I can do 45-ish. I think I've gotten it up to 47 a few times. I don't think I've ever gotten 50 out of it. Probably have to drop it off a cliff to get 50. But it just doesn't have enough acceleration to get out of its own way, let alone anybody else's way. So, all right, drafting behind other cars, 57, 58. So that means I'm going 55-ish. The speed test that I was doing on this with the GPS up here was showing me that the speedometer is 3 mile per hour optimistic on both the factory speedo and this speedo. So I need to change the ratio on it a little bit, or the wheel size, tire size, whatever. So I'm doing 57. If you have disturbed airflow in front of you, it can do okay, but man, the vibration, you can tell you're just really winding it out. It's right near red line right now. The Super Cub at the same speeds, not nearly as buzzy, not nearly as frantic. And then I've got the 15-tooth front sprocket instead of 14-tooth on the Cub, the Super Cub. So it's never anywhere near red line on the highway. It gets into drag limited top speed before you ever get near red line. It says 63, so I'm doing 60. Disturbed air. And of course this guy speeds up so I can't pass. Just pinned open, that's all it's got. 60. Nope, 61. Oh, and I get him on the downhill. 66. So I'm actually going 63. That's pretty good, man. And I'm sure that engine is just like, okay, let me breathe. quit. Please quit. Please stop. I just need one more exit and then I'll get out of this. I'm sure everyone in these cars is looking at me going, dude, what are you doing? You know you're on a trail bike, right? Doesn't that thing belong on a farm? Get off the highway. I'm trying. I'm trying. 66 it still says. I got this big truck I'm drafting here. I can feel his wake. I'm wake surfing, man. I'm wake surfing. Those off and on tricks, or on and off, whatever you want to call them, on off, on off, on off, it saves a lot of time. You can see I just blew away a whole bunch of traffic back there that got stuck in that snarl. Usually, man, you just on off, save a bunch of your day. Early in the mornings, though, when this is real clogged up, you know, people trying to get in and out, that it doesn't pay off. But you can tell I'm clearly outpacing traffic on the highway. I'm going about 5 over for the side road here. The access road is 50 miles an hour, so 50 miles an hour over here is a whole lot better than 30 over there. Path of least resistance. Oh, looking at my quad lock wireless charger here, the inductive charger. It gave up on my Rebel. I've got 3 of these things. I bought one for, you know, several different bikes, and I can swap them around. But the one that I had on my Rebel died at the beginning of my trip. And I don't know what happened, but first my USB cable under the seat was messed up, and it still is, that I had run up alongside the bike. And I plugged in a different cable to the inductive charger, and it was working fine, but now the charger's gone totally out. Doesn't work. So I'm going to have to start a warranty on that, see if they've still got coverage. I had them almost a year now, maybe, I don't know, 9 or 10 months. So I think they've got a 1-year warranty. I'm going to try to do a return on that and figure it out. I looked at the contacts in the back where the USB cable plugs in. They look clean. I couldn't find any problems. And I put a little bit of dielectric grease on all of my electrical connections just so moisture isn't going to corrode them, you know. But nope, it's not it. I don't know. It just gave up. It was doing something weird, you know, second day of the trip, I guess. I saw it was kind of flashing, and it almost looked like it was flashing a code, but then it just got really erratic on the blue light flashing, even when I wasn't charging. So I thought, okay, well, it's giving up, and sure enough, it gave up. It doesn't work at all now. Figured that out when I got home. I tried changing cables again. I tried plugging something into it. Nothing. Took it indoors, plugged it into a known good USB-C cable. Nothing. Nope, no fifth gear. Every time I haven't ridden this thing in a while, can't tell you the number of times I searched for fifth gear. So today is payday. That's why I'm not going home immediately. If any of you have watched my vlogs for a while, you know my normal route going home, but I'm bypassing my neighborhood right back over there and going to the bank. Hey, sit there. Going to the bank. Ooh, that hole's getting worse. When you travel an area, you know, to and from home, your commute, whatever, and you know the roads really well, you know exactly where the big bumps are that you want to miss until after big storms, and then suddenly there's new big bumps that you need to miss. But every time I go on a long road trip somewhere that I'm not familiar with the roads, it's always a eye-opener because you have no idea what's coming up on the road. None whatsoever. There's no basis for comparison, no experience there. So, man, you think everything's all fine and good and you're cruising along and there's a trench in the road. Hey, thanks for that. Always love running over a horse trough in the highway. Thanks. There's a lot of that up in Alabama. Good God, man. I don't care how good your suspension is, man. You run over a trough that's 6 inches deep and 8 inches long, it's going to eat your tires. The only thing that can absorb that and not really feel it too much are the big 18-wheelers. But, man, sedan, pickup, anything, it's going to hurt. Okay, I'm here, bank time. Battery's probably about dead if it's not dead already, so I will catch you all later.